Last time, we saw what Gohan and Trunks' timeline looked after defeating the androids. As we move forward even more, things start to diverge further, and we'll be seeing some other familiar characters showing up or returning. Let's begin part 3 of What If Gohan and Trunks Beat the Androids. Amidst their training one day, Gohan and Trunks are approached by someone that they don't recognize. And they can't tell if these guys are threats or not because, first of all, they just appeared out of nowhere, and second of all, they can't even sense them. Were they trying to do a sneak attack or something? Also, one of them has a smile on his face that looks kinda creepy. But they're pretty level-headed, and they explain who they are. It's Shin and Kibito. They learn these two are gods beyond even King Kai's position. Shin decided to come here because he knows Babidi's lurking about. They don't know where exactly, but he's going to show up eventually. He's trying to revive Majin Buu somehow, and these two are probably going to be involved in the plans. Not that they're going to join him, but rather he's going to steal their power. And even without that, he can gather power other ways on Earth. It'll just take a lot longer. Naturally, this meeting leads to them going to the sacred world of Kais, each becoming apprentices under Shin. They're still not too sure about leaving Earth, especially because they're the only people defending it right now. But Shin says not to worry. If there is some sort of issue, they could teleport back easily. Not to mention, after their training, they might even learn some godly techniques here, and might be able to pull off something like the Kai themselves, although that's going to be further down the line. For now, they're focused on strength training. Not really much would change here at first, besides the fact that Gohan's obviously there. First, they try to pull the Z-Sword, and I feel like they would be able to do this at least. Trunks was able to in the main story, and Gohan definitely would be able to here considering he's stronger than that, and considering present Gohan did it in the main story too. Either of them would definitely be able to pull it, and both of them would be able to utilize it at least. They do a ton of training with it, and they do grow noticeably stronger from it too. And funny enough, even without Goku there, they would probably test it against Kachin eventually. In the manga version of the future Trunks arc, we see that Shin was about to do this, but Trunks headed back to Earth before they could do so. So Shin would be up for testing the sword like this too, which means it still gets broken. Obviously at first this seems like a huge issue, but this freed Elder Kai, something that didn't happen in the future timeline normally. I am breezing through this part a little bit here, but it's because a lot of it remains similar. But trust me, I'm getting somewhere. I'm just trying to quickly get the other stuff out of the way, the stuff that we already know of. Their training with the Z-Sword was a lot quicker, and they still have time before they need to go back to Earth, mainly due to the fact that both of them are stronger than their normal counterparts. So training's more efficient because they started at a higher level, meaning they get the Z-Sword easier, and it leads Elder Kai to having time to actually use his ritual. Let's go back to Earth. Babidi's made his move on Earth. Dabura's there too, of course. Although they're a bit surprised because they can't feel the strong powers that they felt before. They would have loved to take some energy from those two strong fighters here, but they're nowhere to be seen. At least not at first. 4 people teleport in, and Babidi's glad to see the two Kais are here, and he's able to quickly realize what happened. Those two Kais trained him up for his arrival. He's not too worried though. He'll be able to take their power, and they won't be able to defeat someone like Dabura. What Babidi doesn't realize here is this is a really bad matchup. First off, future Trunks is able to defeat Dabura in the main story, and he only just unlocks Super Saiyan 2 in this fight seemingly. Here, there's 2 fighters, both stronger than Trunks, both have Super Saiyan 2, and they even have something above it now. Not to mention, given what they've been through, they don't play around with fights here. They don't fight for enjoyment. They fight to stop threats as quick as possible. The two power up and look unassuming at first, but Dabura and Babidi are terrified. Their power is incredible, and it doesn't even look like they transformed. Babidi knows that if they're able to take power from one of them, that should be more than enough to revive Buu. But they have no time to act here or to fight back. Even if they did have time to react, they wouldn't be fast enough or strong enough to do anything. One of them alone would be overkill. Gohan and Trunks use everything they've learned. Trunks goes after Dabura and pretty quickly kills him. Babidi tries to guard himself against Gohan, but his raw strength is able to break through his magical barriers and such. Clearly a tricky fighter, but not a physically strong one. Shin and Kibito are happy, but also just really surprised. That was it? They expected more of a challenge here against Buu. Of course, it's a good thing that this went so easily, but still, they didn't realize the gap in power between Gohan, Trunks, and those two. Babidi's one thing because he lacks the physical strength, but Dabura, Trunks defeated him with ease, and Trunks is the weaker of the two. Kibito wonders if they even needed Elder Kai's ritual here. Obviously it didn't hurt, but they probably had enough power before that to win here. These two mortals are truly remarkable. Shin and Kibito take them back to the sacred world of Kais briefly, also bringing the egg back with them, because now they just need to figure out what to do with Buu's egg. They'll gladly bring Gohan and Trunks back to Earth if they want to go back, but Shin says they're more than welcome to keep training here if they want to do so. He'll let them decide on that. First off, they just gotta figure out what to do with this egg though. A brilliant pillar of light appears from the sky. The Kais, especially Elder Kai, look terrified. Gohan and Trunks have no clue what's going on. Another enemy? Not really. As the light dissipates, 2 people are revealed. A tall blue man with big white hair, and a purple cat humanoid who's yawning. But then he catches a glimpse of Gohan and Trunks and smiles, knowing that this is definitely where he needs to be. Gohan and Trunks immediately go into attack. Shin and Kibito tell them to stop, but Beerus says no need to worry. He fends both of them off in Ultimate, and they're fighting at their full power too. He tells them that's no way to greet a god. But he did want to test their power anyways, so at least they save time this way. The fight is very brief though. They're stronger than he expected, but still not really on his level. Actually, not even close to a fraction of his level. He spent most of his time effortlessly dodging and blocking their attacks. And then, with a single swipe of each hand, he sends them plummeting into the ground, back into their base. Nearly unconscious too. Beerus then looks over and sees Elder Kai. Looks like the Kais finally freed him. He doesn't really care too much, although Elder Kai's still terrified of Beerus. Luckily, he's not getting sealed again, though. Beerus assumes that these are two of Shin's students. Whis told him that 2 half-Saiyans were here, and he was specifically looking for these 2 because, as far as he knows, there's no other living Saiyans. Whis was able to find out that one Saiyan was able to defeat Frieza way back, becoming a Super Saiyan. He ended up dying to some sickness, and then tragedy struck Earth, so all the Saiyans besides these 2 were gone. But one of them just so happens to be the son of the Saiyan that defeated Frieza. And these 2 should be Super Saiyans as well, aren't they? That's exactly why he's here. He theorizes that these 2 could be the strongest mortals at the moment. But more importantly, they have the potential to become his rivals, Super Saiyan gods. He woke up around now because this is when the Oracle Fish said that he might find his rival, with him having some sort of dream about a Super Saiyan god. Shin explains what happened so far and what their power is. So that disgusting rock thing over there is Boo's egg? Well, if they're having trouble disposing of it, Beerus will at least help. If this thing gets freed, he can't have Shin dying. He simply taps it, and the egg is destroyed with a Hakai, further showcasing his terrifying power. Now the question is, what is a Super Saiyan god? That power they showcased was strong, but it's definitely not what he was looking for. It wasn't even divine. They have no clue of what the Super Saiyan god is. With Beerus pretty bummed out to hear this, but he does believe in the Oracle Fish and does believe they'll become his rivals someday, so he's willing to give them a shot, even though this was a waste of his time. They're still pretty confused as to what's going on because it sounds like this guy's trying to recruit them or something. And to make things even more confusing, someone else then teleports in, but this time it's a definite ally. The others don't recognize him, but before even seeing him, Gohan immediately recognizes the key signature, turning over to see Goku standing there, apologizing because it looks like he's interrupting something. The gods are a bit confused as to how he got here, and when Beerus looks at him a bit more, he realizes that that's the one who defeated Frieza. Makes sense, especially given the halo on his head. Kibito's pretty pissed off at this too, because Goku just came here on his own accord. He has to have special permission to come to this planet. Goku apologizes, he didn't realize where he was teleporting to. Thing is, he's prohibited from going to the living world, but this place, it's not in there. He sensed Gohan and Trunks' power flare up a ton, and it was really easy to locate them this way. He wasn't sure if there was danger or if they were just training. He did feel some of their power before, but this time it was really overt. Gohan, of course, is really happy to see him. It's been decades after all. And Goku apologizes for not visiting sooner. He says he does have one 24-hour ticket to go to Earth, but he wanted to save it. But here, that doesn't matter. He has no time limit coming here. When the gods eventually realize who this is, it starts to make sense. It's Goku, the Saiyan who defeated Frieza, and the father of Gohan. Goku also sees Trunks all grown up. They know of each other, but Trunks was a baby when Goku died, so he never really got to see him. That's why he didn't recognize his ki, and didn't recognize him immediately either. The two have never formally met, but Goku greets him formally for the first time. It looks like Gohan's been training him, and it seems he's been doing a pretty good job at it. He could tell just from both their ki that Trunks is really strong here. Vegeta would definitely be proud. Trunks is pretty taken aback by this because he didn't expect to hear about Vegeta. But he asks Goku. He assumes Vegeta's not in Otherworld, right? And Goku nervously laughs, saying Vegeta wasn't necessarily a good enough guy to go there. But knowing Vegeta's pride and how much he values strength, even though he still didn't get to know Vegeta too well, he could tell Trunks is probably exactly how he would have wanted his son to be. More importantly though, he wanted to see how much Gohan's grown. He's clearly been through a lot. Not just from what Goku knows, but just judging by his appearance. He's scarred. He's missing an arm. He spent years fighting the androids. And Goku tells Gohan he has been watching over. Piccolo was interested too. Goku would have brought everyone else here, but again, he didn't know if he was getting into danger. So that's why he went alone. But all those people, Piccolo, Krillin, Yamcha, Tenshinhan, Chaozu, everyone like that, they're in Otherworld. They kept their bodies so Goku was able to see them all the time. And he's been waiting for a chance to see Gohan. Oh yeah, he forgot to introduce himself to the others. He actually has heard of Shin. And he does apologize again for interrupting, but Shin actually doesn't mind it. But Shin does look a bit terrified, and then Goku sees he's staring at Beerus, someone he actually doesn't know. Beerus tells him to continue. He won't interrupt this reunion. He's more so interested to see where this goes. But Goku looks at Beerus for a second, and then his eyes widen. He's Lord Beerus, isn't he? He's heard some things about Beerus in Otherworld, and even though he can't even feel Beerus' power, he could just tell something about him makes him strong. Goku does get a bit nervous seeing him, but still keeps his casual demeanor because Beerus doesn't seem too angry. He's glad his reputation goes that far. Even the dead fear him. Although he wonders if this mortal would have been a better rival for him. But he is dead, and Beerus doesn't know the extent of his power right now. And with Goku being Goku, of course, he asks Gohan to spar with him. He wants to see how strong Gohan's grown. Gohan's up for this, but he did just fight Beerus. Kibito is about to go and heal him, but Beerus is interested. He tells Whis to heal Gohan and Trunks. He wants to see another showcase of their powers. Not a problem. Whis heals them much to their surprise. And Gohan then shows off his full strength. He's gone far beyond Super Saiyan. First he got Super Saiyan 2. But now he has this, his unlocked potential. Goku can see it's clearly impressive. And then he shows off his own full power, going into Super Saiyan 3. Gohan didn't realize there was another level beyond 2. Although, Goku wonders which of the two will be stronger. Gohan did just get that ultimate form after all, so maybe he's not too used to it, and he can tell Gohan has a lot of room to grow. But for now, this will still be a fun test. The two battle and it seems pretty close at first, but Goku starts to get ahead. All those years he's been training non-stop, training with and learning from the greatest people in Otherworld, some of the best warriors in history. Best part is, he doesn't need to sleep up there. And powers like this work really well while he's dead. It seems that Goku's far above him, but Goku still has a little bit more strength to showcase. He tells Trunks to come at him too. He wants to see his power as well. So Trunks goes into Ultimate. And now Goku's being pushed back, but then he showcases his true power. A red aura flares up around him as he shouts Kaioken. Gohan completely forgot about Kaioken, and Goku's learned to combine it not just with Super Saiyan, but Super Saiyan 2 and 3 it seems. Super Saiyan 3 alone was a shock, but this on top of it, that's a lot. Goku of course is able to win here, but still, he does enjoy the fight they had. He tells Gohan and Trunks they didn't lose because they're weak though. They're really strong and Goku just had an unfair advantage. He was able to train non-stop with some great people, while Gohan and Trunks, they lost so much time to the androids and only really just started training seriously. They simply didn't have the time, resources, or health before. He wonders how strong they would have been if they didn't lose that time. But still, even with how short that time has been, it's impressive how strong they've grown. They'll definitely be able to surpass him, and for what it's worth, he tells the two of them they're way stronger than he was at their respective ages. Beerus was impressed with the fight too and was glad he got to watch it. He asks Goku, does his son have the potential to become a god? And Goku knows nothing about that. He doesn't even know what they're talking about. Beerus looks a bit underwhelmed too. Does he happen to know anything about a Super Saiyan god? Well, Goku has been in Otherworld so long that by now he probably has heard at least one rumor of a Super Saiyan god, as a person at least. He wanted to meet him, but he never found the guy and knows nothing about him. Goku's not even sure if he really exists or if he's just some legend, especially because the rumor started from Saiyans and there's no Saiyans up here. He heard it from a Namekian up there actually, who only vaguely knew what he was talking about. Well, that's good enough for Beerus because that says there is some merit to it. Goku plainly states he has no clue of what the power is or if it's a power that someone can obtain. He doesn't know if it's a person, a form, or something else. But he tells Beerus if it is a power that someone can actually get, he bets that Gohan of all people would be able to do it. Beerus smirks, pleased by this answer. Very well. Gohan's honestly pretty surprised because Goku's acting really respectful here. He's been around them a lot in Otherworld, and while he is still pretty casual, Gohan's surprised that Goku's not acting more casual. Goku's also tempted to ask Beerus to fight, but first of all, he wants to be respectful. Second of all, Beerus has no desire to fight him right now because he already saw him fight. And third, Beerus doesn't really think it's too proper. Goku shouldn't even really be here right now, so he's kind of on thin ice and needs to watch what he does. Goku apologizes once more for interrupting, but thanks everyone for letting him come here. And most importantly, thanks Gohan and Trunks for the fight. He tells Gohan he'll visit more often. They'll find more ways to meet. And he expects great things of Gohan. The two hug, and he teleports back to Otherworld. Next time he'll bring some friends along with him too. He waves and vanishes. As you'd probably expect by now, this leads to Beerus taking Gohan and Trunks under his wing. Or rather, Whis doing so because he's the one actually training them. They don't know anything about the Super Saiyan God ritual, but they're going to keep training towards whatever this power is. And it does take some time, but eventually they are able to unlock this. While it is impressive, it's not on Beerus' level at all. And more importantly, they realize that they can go even further, especially with their ultimate form. Whis is particularly interested in that form due to how unique it is. He tells the two of them they should try manifesting the power of a god through that form. Ultimate should be the peak of their power after all, drawing out all of their latent potential. Maybe they can go beyond it somehow, but he's not necessarily sure yet. We'll see soon enough though. This is where we leave off for now. What do you guys think about this part and what's going to happen next? Leave any thoughts or ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps with the channel and shows me you want to see more like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.